How exactly could the Star Wars sci-fi fantasy of Obi-Wan Kenobi find a way to seemingly offer up a nod to the very Earth-based gritty John Wick action movie franchise? Fans are sure it did. Keep watching. Spoilers for the second episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi and John Wick Chapter 2, if you haven't seen it, are ahead. All the Disney Plus Star Wars shows come with some amount of franchise baggage. On the surface, at least, Obi-Wan Kenobi is the most lore-laden show of them all. After all, it focuses on Ewan McGregor's titular Jedi, who's hiding on the desert planet Tatooine in the years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Yet the show almost immediately breaks out this potentially suffocating mold, as Obi-Wan decides to head off on his own adventures, which reach in some pretty peculiar directions.
He won't be able to help it. The Jedi will hunt himself.
Since it's one of the biggest and most influential franchises in movie history, it's easy to think that other franchises only reference Star Wars and not the other way around.
Hey, Bill! What? I'm Dalton.
However, a certain moment in Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 2 makes it easy to believe that this particular part of the franchise may have actually paid homage to a more recent pop culture fixture. Yes, some fans think that Obi-Wan Kenobi just dropped a sick John Wick reference. Could this major Star Wars Disney Plus show really have given a nod at the popular Keanu Reeves assassin movie series? Let's take a look at the available evidence. The episode features a moment in which Reva, an Inquisitor eager to apprehend Obi-Wan, alerts the entire town on the planet Daiju to hunt for the Jedi. Almost everyone around gets a cool bounty hologram mass transmission. This seems very close to the excommunicado sequence in John Wick Chapter 2, when John's now former assassin colleagues learn that the hunt is on.
In 1 hour, John Wick, excommunicado.
The apparent reference hasn't gone unnoticed. One fan tweeted, "John Wick excommunicado moment in Part 2 when everyone in the city's searching for Obi-Wan." Another simply said, "Ep 2, John Wick meets Obi-Wan." There are also fans that feel that the announcement of the bounty is only one part of the John Wick homage. Some suggest that the show's entire vibe is essentially a big old nod to the Keanu Reeves movies. One tweeted, "Honestly, Obi-Wan doing John Wick is a real slam dunk, honestly. Can't believe I'm surprised that's what they're going for. Should have been obvious." Another managed to identify the John Wick vibes of Obi-Wan Kenobi before the show even dropped, based on the trailer alone, writing soon after the May 4th trailer release. "Never knew I needed an Obi-Wan Kenobi show where he's going John Wick on people, but this show has me excited." These fan observations might actually be onto something, because, as it turns out, there actually is a surprising yet very real connection between the John Wick franchise and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Joby Harold, a writer and executive producer on Obi-Wan Kenobi, also was an executive producer in John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum, the installment of the John Wick franchise that deals with Mr. Wick's difficulties after he's declared excommunicado. Variety reported Harold's Obi-Wan Kenobi writer gig in 2020, and he has certainly been busy. He has writer, story, or teleplay credits on each of the show's 6 episodes. Harold isn't listed as a writer for John Wick 3, and he's obviously just one of the many people who have been working on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Still, Part 2's strong Lone Warrior versus the World energy may not be a coincidence when you remember that someone who has worked with the John Wick franchise was involved in the production. You could say that Harold is something of a specialist of the against all odds genre, seeing as he also executive produced the Tom Cruise sci-fi flick Edge of Tomorrow, and co-wrote the screenplay for director Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. It remains to be seen whether future episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi continue to nod toward John Wick, or whether the show will veer in a completely different direction. After all, its Disney Plus predecessor, The Book of Boba Fett, had no trouble devoting entire episodes to The Mandalorian, who has his own show. Perhaps Obi-Wan intends to juxtapose Obi-Wan's lonesome survival with Darth Vader's more ruthless and high-profile missions. Or maybe it'll stay on the course Part 2 has seemingly chosen. Either way, fans seem on board for the action so far. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more Looper videos about Star Wars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.